Hello, how you guys doing? I hope all is well. I came across a video you guys have to see, all right? They are saying in this video that Diddy has been trying to silence his son. You guys know his sons have been coming to see him during this court trial, and also his daughters. I even heard his daughters had to walk out the trial because they were hearing inappropriate things about him and Cassie. But people are saying that even though they walked out, that Cassie was 1 year older when she had a relationship with Diddy. They said the freak offs didn't start until she was 22. So it's a lot of people talking behind that. But I know you guys like to hear these reviews and these reactions. So I brought you guys one. And it says, chaos turns into the courtroom. Oh my goodness. Chaos. And they are saying that Diddy tried to silence his son. I know he's been looking at people strange in the courtroom. That's what they say. They say he looks at a people a certain way. You know, I don't know if he's doing some voodoo with his eyes or whatever. But let's watch this video. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. And please leave your comments because I love to read your comments. I love to know what you guys think about this video. I have to make this announcement. I don't know if everything they're saying in this video is true. I didn't make this video up, but I know you guys like to react to them, okay? So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe here, and let's see what they have to say.
What's up, y'all? It's King Kong. And right now, I'm taking over my pop's Instagram.
Since Diddy's trial kicked off, King Combs has been riding hard for his father, posting, showing support, and staying silent on the serious allegations surrounding them both. But now that King is facing his own sexual assault lawsuit, and with the family's legal battle starting to overlap, rumors are flying. Word is, Diddy's doing everything he can to keep his son quiet, and it's already stirring up serious drama in the courtroom. Let's break it all down. The empire falls, from rap game king to federal case. Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, entrepreneur, and once one of the most powerful figures in the industry, now sits behind bars awaiting a trial that could determine the rest of his life. The man who built an empire worth hundreds of millions now calls a cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn his home. Before we begin, I must warn you, today's content contains references to serious allegations of a disturbing nature. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. So let's break down what's really happening in what could be the most significant criminal case in music industry history. In September 2024, Sean Diddy Combs was arrested and indicted on serious federal charges, including sex trafficking by force, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. These aren't minor allegations. They're charges that could potentially put him behind bars for decades. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His trial is scheduled to begin in just days, May 5th, 2025, with opening statements set for May 12th. He's been held without bail since his arrest, with multiple requests for release denied by judges citing flight risk and potential witness tampering. But what exactly is Diddy accused of? According to the federal indictment, prosecutors allege that Combs operated what they describe as a criminal enterprise spanning more than a decade. At the center of these allegations are what prosecutors call freak-offs, allegedly elaborate, drug-fueled sexual performances that Combs orchestrated and recorded. The indictment claims these weren't consensual expressions of adult sexuality, but rather coercive situations where victims were controlled through violence, intimidation, and drugs like ketamine and ecstasy. When federal agents raided Combs' properties in both Los Angeles and Miami, they reportedly seized firearms, ammunition, and, in a detail that made headlines, over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, which prosecutors directly tied to these alleged events. Since his arrest, Diddy's legal representation has evolved. One of his original attorneys, Anthony Rico, withdrew in February 2025, citing privilege-protected reasons he couldn't disclose publicly. New additions to the team include Brian Steele, an attorney known for his work on the high-profile Young Thug case, who now works alongside Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos. There have also been reports that Diddy has been seeking to add a black female attorney to his team, perhaps recognizing the importance of diversity in what will likely be a highly scrutinized trial. But the federal criminal case represents only one front in Diddy's legal battle. Since November 2023, he has been hit with over 60 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct spanning more than 3 decades. The flood of allegations began when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend of approximately 10 years, filed a lawsuit claiming rape, sex trafficking, and years of physical abuse throughout their relationship. Though this lawsuit was settled within days for an undisclosed amount, it appeared to open the floodgates.
The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
In May 2024, CNN released surveillance footage from 2016 showing Combs physically assaulting Ventura in a hotel hallway, graphic evidence that seemed to validate at least some of her claims. Combs responded with a video apology, calling his behavior inexcusable and taking full responsibility for his actions.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Following Ventura's lawsuit and this video, dozens of additional accusers came forward. Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that in 1991, Combs drugged and raped her, then recorded the assault and shared it with others. Liza Gardner claimed Combs and singer Aaron Hall raped her and a friend after an MCA Records event in the early 1990s. Crystal McKinney, a former model, alleged Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her at his New York recording studio in 2003. April Lampros accused Combs of 4 separate incidents of sexual assault between 1995 and 2001. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a producer who worked on Combs' album, filed a lawsuit claiming unwanted sexual advances and forced interactions with sex workers. Perhaps most disturbing are allegations involving minors. Multiple anonymous plaintiffs, both male and female, have come forward claiming they were assaulted by Combs when they were underage, some as young as 10 years old. One Jane Doe alleges Combs raped her at a house party in 2000 when she was just 13 years old. In total, over 60 individuals have filed lawsuits against Combs, with allegations spanning from 1990 to as recently as 2023. Many of these legal actions were made possible by New York's Adult Survivors Act and Gender Motivated Violence Act, which temporarily lifted the statute of limitations for survivors of sexual abuse. It's important to note that despite these numerous allegations, Combs has consistently maintained his innocence. Through his legal team, he has denied all accusations, calling the civil lawsuits money grabs and attempts to garner publicity. His attorneys have asserted that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. At the time, Mark quipped,
"Would you be open to a plea bargain?"
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent. And what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up.
So what happens next? And how is Diddy's defense team planning to fight these charges? And what's life like for a former billionaire now residing in one of America's most notorious detention centers? We'll examine Diddy's life behind bars and the defense strategy his lawyers are building as the trial approaches. Family business, Christian Combs and the allegations. The star-studded guest list and denials. Diddy's parties, particularly his white parties held from 1998 to 2009, were once considered the pinnacle of Hollywood's elite social scene. These lavish affairs attracted A-listers from music, film, and fashion industries. However, following Combs' arrest in September 2024 on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, these gatherings have come under intense scrutiny. According to the BBC, Diddy's white parties were glamorous events held in locations such as the Hamptons, Los Angeles, and Miami. They were attended by numerous high-profile celebrities and were known for their exclusivity and luxury. However, not all of Diddy's events were the same, and it's important to distinguish between his public white parties and the alleged freak-offs that are now at the center of legal allegations. Based on media reports, photographs, and public statements, we can identify numerous celebrities who attended Diddy's parties over the years. It's crucial to note that attendance at these events doesn't imply involvement in any alleged misconduct, and many celebrities attended what were, on the surface, standard industry gatherings. According to U.S. Magazine, several celebrities have confirmed their attendance at Diddy's parties, while others have openly discussed their experiences. Justin Bieber, whom Howard specifically mentioned in his interview, has been documented as a guest at various Diddy events. This connection is particularly notable, given Howard's claim that Bieber is struggling with the aftermath of his experiences. Mariah Carey attended the 2007 White Party in East Hampton, as reported by the BBC. The same event was also attended by Tommy Lee and Busta Rhymes. Paris Hilton was present at the 2006 White Party, according to Getty Images cited by the BBC. Kim Kardashian was also photographed at this event. Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's former girlfriend, was a frequent attendee at his gatherings over the years. Their relationship adds another layer to the controversy, as fans recently unearthed a 2015 clip from the Wendy Williams show, where Lopez's mother Guadalupe reacted uncomfortably to the idea of her daughter rekindling a romance with Diddy.
As for Diddy's ex J-Lo, fans also dug up her 2015 appearance on the Wendy Williams show. Her mom, Guadalupe, reacting to a rekindled romance.
I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
Jay-Z and Beyonce were also regular guests at Diddy's high-profile events, where they sometimes released music, according to the BBC. Ashton Kutcher described attending Diddy's parties in a resurfaced interview, as reported by US Magazine. His description suggests these were particularly wild events. Khloe Kardashian recalled a Las Vegas party hosted by Diddy where half the people were butt naked, per US Magazine. This description suggests that at least some of Diddy's parties had a more risque atmosphere than standard industry events. Russell Simmons attended multiple white parties, including events in 2004 and 2007, as noted by the BBC. Usher, who lived with Diddy in the 90s, attended various parties and has spoken about his experiences, according to US Magazine. Other celebrities documented at various white parties include Al Sharpton, LL Cool J, Aretha Franklin, Betsy Johnson, Donald Trump, Demi Moore, Russell Brand, Star Jones, and Martha Stewart, among many others. The full list of attendees over the years would likely number in the hundreds, encompassing many of Hollywood's biggest names. However, it's essential to note that not all celebrities associated with Diddy attended his parties, and some have explicitly denied involvement. Several prominent figures have made a point of distancing themselves from Diddy's events or clarifying their non-attendance. Ice Cube stated clearly at a 2024 Las Vegas concert, "Me and WC ain't never been to a Diddy party," as reported by US Magazine. 50 Cent has been vocal about avoiding Diddy's gatherings, explaining, "I've been very vocal about not going to Puffy parties," citing discomfort with the atmosphere, per US Magazine. Cat Williams jokingly claimed he turned down $50 million to avoid Diddy's parties, suggesting he knew something was off about these events, according to US Magazine. Jaleel White stated he was never invited to these events, remarking, "Rejection is God's protection," as noted by US Magazine. Ray J has insisted he never witnessed crimes or trafficking at the events he attended, stating, "We've never seen the stuff that's being said," according to US Magazine. Beyond the celebrities who have confirmed or denied attendance, there's also an unverified Diddy list circulating online. According to the Times of India, this list includes names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Megan Fox, and Howard Stern. However, it's important to approach this list with caution, as it lacks credible evidence and appears to be based on social media speculation rather than verified sources. The list has been compared to speculative lists associated with Jeffrey Epstein, and no A-list celebrity named has been directly implicated in Combs' legal case. Actions like Usher and Megan Fox allegedly deleting social media posts related to Justin Bieber have fueled speculation, but no concrete evidence links these actions to Diddy's case. It's worth noting that the nature of Diddy's parties varied widely. According to some attendees, like Arsenio Hall, there were family-friendly gatherings that had children present. Others, like the event described by Khloe Kardashian, had a more adult atmosphere. This variety makes it difficult to make blanket assumptions about what all attendees experienced or witnessed. The legal context surrounding these parties adds another layer of complexity. Combs was arrested in September 2024 and faces charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, with a trial set for May 2025, according to the Miami Herald. Allegations include orchestrating freak-offs involving coerced sexual acts, but no evidence confirms celebrity involvement in these specific events. Attorney Tony Busby, representing over 100 accusers, has reportedly sent letters to unnamed celebrities who attended these events, warning of potential liability if they knew of misconduct but did nothing, per the Miami Herald. This suggests that some attendees may have witnessed questionable behavior, even if they weren't directly involved. Another interesting aspect of this controversy is how some celebrities seem to have premonitions about Diddy's current legal troubles. For instance, a clip of Rosie O'Donnell making a joke about Diddy at the 2000 Grammy Awards has recently resurfaced, with O'Donnell quipping that while Lauryn Hill had 4 nominations and TLC had 8, Sean Combs 5 to 10.
A lot of multiple Grammy nominees this year. Lauryn Hill's got 4, TLC's got 8, and Sean Combs 5 to 10. Can really sing.
Referring to a potential prison sentence. While this was in reference to different legal issues Diddy faced at the time, the joke has taken on new meaning in light of his current charges. Similarly, Diddy himself seemed to foreshadow his legal troubles in a statement at that same event.
Rosie O'Donnell's joke about Diddy nearly 25 years ago hitting a little different in 2024.
You're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me.
Yeah, the viral resurfaced moments just keep coming in the wake of Diddy's racketeering and sex trafficking indictments.
These clips suggest that concerns about Diddy's behavior weren't entirely new, even if they're only now coming to widespread public attention. What's particularly challenging about assessing celebrity involvement in Diddy's parties is the lack of clarity about which events were the alleged freak-offs, where misconduct supposedly occurred. Without this information, it's difficult to determine which attendees might have witnessed or been aware of problematic behavior. The defense, possible outcomes, and industry implications. To understand the significance of Rico's departure, we first need to comprehend the full scope of the charges Diddy is facing and the progression of his case since his arrest last year. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in September 2024 and indicted on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Federal prosecutors allege that Combs used his wealth and influence to coerce female victims and male sex workers into drug-fueled sexual performances, employing blackmail and violence to maintain control. As of April 2025, Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges, including additional counts added in a superseding indictment in March 2025, such as forced labor and another count of sex trafficking. The fall from grace has been as dramatic as it has been swift for the man once celebrated as hip-hop royalty. The same mogul who once commanded boardrooms at major corporations and hosted lavish white parties in the Hamptons now spends his days in the confines of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility with a reputation that stands in stark contrast to the luxury Diddy enjoyed for decades. MDC Brooklyn, as it's commonly known, has been described in court filings as hell on earth with dangerous, barbaric conditions. The facility has been plagued by serious issues including rampant violence and deplorable living conditions. In a cruel twist of fate for someone accustomed to mansions in Miami and Los Angeles, Diddy now navigates daily life in what former inmate Michael Cohen described as an 8 by 10 foot cell that I can assure you is disgusting, with a steel bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow. The conditions at MDC Brooklyn have become so notorious that some federal judges have refused to send certain defendants there, citing humanitarian concerns. Just months before Diddy's arrival, 2 inmates were stabbed to death within the facility, while another was speared in the spine with a makeshift ice pick. In October 2024, federal investigators conducted a sweep of the facility, seizing drugs, homemade weapons, and contraband electronic devices, a testament to the ongoing security challenges within the jail's walls. For security reasons, Diddy is housed in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, which offers additional protection but creates further constraints on an inmate's daily life. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, confirmed this placement, noting that while it provides necessary security for a high-profile inmate, it significantly complicates trial preparation. Diddy faces highly restricted movement and limited access to resources that would be available in general population. The contrast between his former life and current circumstances couldn't be more stark. The man who once traveled by private jet now has restricted communication with the outside world, limited to brief weekly visits and 15-minute phone calls that are subject to government monitoring. In March 2025, excerpts from a call between Diddy and Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, were leaked to the press, further demonstrating the loss of privacy that accompanies incarceration. Currently, Diddy remains incarcerated without bail at MDC Brooklyn, awaiting his trial. The case has attracted significant media attention, with over 60 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct and a high-profile criminal trial looming. The defense team, originally led by Mark Agnifilo, has faced various challenges, including the internal conflicts that came to light with Rico's withdrawal. In March and April 2025, prosecutors added several charges in superseding indictments, including forced labor and an additional count of sex trafficking, bringing the total to 5 counts. Despite requests from the defense team to delay the proceedings, Judge Arun Subramanian rejected these motions, upholding the May 5, 2025 start date for the trial. As the trial date approaches, Diddy's legal team has intensified efforts to suppress evidence obtained during raids of his properties. In these raids, federal agents allegedly seized narcotics, firearms with defaced serial numbers, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant that prosecutors claim were used for his freak-off parties. The success or failure of these suppression motions could significantly impact the strength of the government's case. Now, let's turn to what legal experts and commentators have said about Anthony Rico's withdrawal and its potential impact on Diddy's case. Prominent legal commentator and sports personality Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on the attorney's departure in a video commentary, emphasizing that an attorney backing out of a high-profile case is generally not a positive development for the client.
An attorney representing Sean Diddy Combs in the sex trafficking case announced that he is stepping down as counsel.
Smith went on to explain why an attorney leaving a case of this magnitude is particularly noteworthy.
On his team, end quote. Let me say this. Anytime an attorney backs out, that's not a good look. Now, there could be a variety of reasons as to why this happened, and we all get that. I understand that. But anytime an attorney backs out, particularly of a high-profile case like this, is not a good look.
The timing of Rico's departure with the trial date rapidly approaching, adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging case. Jury selection is scheduled to begin on May 5th, 2025, giving Diddy's restructured legal team precious little time to adjust their strategy and prepare for what promises to be one of the most watched trials of the year. Legal experts have noted that Rico's departure, particularly so close to trial, could potentially disrupt the cohesion of the defense team, though they've also pointed out that with 5 other attorneys remaining, including the addition of Brian Steele, who is known for representing Young Thug, the legal representation remains robust. One key aspect that has been discussed among legal commentators is the impact of Rico's cultural connection to Diddy. As multiple sources have pointed out, Rico is black and from Harlem, the same neighborhood as Combs, creating a connection that may have been valuable to the defense, particularly if they plan to pursue arguments related to racial bias, which has been suggested as a potential defense strategy. The loss of an attorney with shared cultural context could prove significant for a defense team reportedly planning to argue that Diddy is being selectively prosecuted as a powerful black man. This racial component of the defense strategy became apparent in February 2025 when the team filed motions claiming that no white person has ever been the target of a remotely similar prosecution. Without Rico's perspective and voice, this argument might lose some of its personal resonance in the courtroom. It's also worth noting that there have been significant developments in Diddy's case beyond Rico's withdrawal. In March 2025, one of Diddy's current attorneys, Tenny Geragos, made public statements about the case on a podcast, addressing many of the rumors and misconceptions surrounding the charges.
Right. Well, we have heard allegations about other celebrities connected to Diddy, but the people on Diddy's side say we're getting things all mixed up here. And she blames the media. Right. She being Tenny Geragos.
During this podcast appearance, Geragos specifically addressed the rumors about celebrity sex tapes that have been circulating.
This kind of created a life of its own, that they had seized videos of the freak-offs, and it kind of spun into who's on those tapes. And Hollywood became unusually silent.
Geragos attributed much of the confusion and misinformation to attorney Tony Busby, who has been representing numerous accusers in civil lawsuits against Diddy.
I think there's one huge reason, and that's Tony Busby. Right after the indictment, he came out with a press conference with a 1-800 number behind him, threatening lawsuits against our client, without having filed any.
The podcast host further clarified the context of these statements.
And what she's referring to, part of why Hollywood went quiet is we now know that Tony Busby sent demand letters to several celebrities, most notably Jay-Z, who stood up to that and is actually now suing Tony Busby for extortion.
So far, we've analyzed the facts surrounding Anthony Rico's withdrawal from Diddy's case and examined the broader legal context through expert commentary. After his popular house raid in March, famous American rapper Diddy is now back on trial. And this time, it's hotter with charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and even sexual assault. While the famous rapper and music mogul is currently locked up for several alleged crimes, this new statement from a witness at Diddy's infamous party could potentially change everything. So what has this witness uncovered? You're about to find out. The shocking witness statement. After the numerous shocking allegations against Diddy in the past couple of months, including the case of assault against his former partner Cassie Ventura, Sean Combs, popularly called Diddy, now faces a possible new charge after he allegedly threatened Kalena Harper. Harper, who was a former member of the now disbanded Diddy Dirty Money Group, is not really known for her connection to Diddy. However, some recent revelations show that she may be way closer to Diddy than we know. This revelation stems from a recent claim from Dawn Richard, who was also a member of the Diddy Dirty Money Group. According to Richard, Diddy had previously groped and threatened Kalena Harper sometime before the recent arrest. She also claimed that there were times when Diddy failed to pay Harper even while he oversaw her career. But that was not everything. Coupled with Richard's claims, authorities have also found out that on the day Diddy was sued, he had called Harper about 58 times in 4 days for reasons that are yet to be determined by officials. Based on these findings, the U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky has denied Diddy's bail request, citing the possibility of witness tampering and blackmail if released. After Diddy's attorneys asked for him to be released on bail with a $50 million bond, the judge denied the request, stating that the incident of Diddy's call to Harper was just one way of making clear that he has the ability to keep witnesses in his pocket and at his disposal. He also added that he could not grant their request majorly because he is not reasonably assured of Diddy's return to court or the safety of the community. The judge further stated that there is no proof of a lack of witness tampering in Diddy's conversation with Harper. While the allegation of witness tampering still holds, another disturbing report claims that Diddy may have actually blackmailed some artists artists and top industry stars before his arrest. According to the report, Diddy allegedly blackmailed these people using video recordings of them, obtained from hidden cameras in his home. These celebrities were said to be attendees at Diddy's parties, which were held in his properties located in Los Angeles and on Star Island. The people in the footage are allegedly some of Hollywood's biggest names, record CEOs, and even politicians, many of whom were caught doing drugs and engaging in sexual acts with prostitutes and minors. Most of the details of these findings were majorly disclosed by Rodney Jones, popularly called Lil Rod. Lil Rod was Diddy's former employee and sort of like his right-hand man. However, things took a disastrous turn when Lil Rod filed a sexual assault, trafficking, and racketeering lawsuit against Diddy in February. The music artist also went further to disclose the numerous crimes committed by Diddy, all of which are contained in a 73-page document that has now been released by authorities. In this document, Rod linked Diddy and several other people to some RICO activities, including sex trafficking, sexual assault, and even murder. It also showed numerous pictorial evidence, many of which proved that the allegations against Diddy could be true. Now let's go back to the hidden camera talk for a moment. Following this recent claim, a new TikTok clip that discussed snippets of the incident was recently posted online, and many people took to the comment section to voice their opinion on the issue. One user noted that the release of such footage will definitely be a huge revelation. However, another user specifically stated that somehow these recordings, which involve many powerful people, may end up being lost or perhaps accidentally deleted. One other user also commented something similar, stating that Diddy's house was probably raided with a plan to get rid of the videotape. But how possible could this be? Let's look at some of the events that happened during Diddy's arrest. On September 17, 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York. This incident followed the raid of his homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March this year. After the raid, Diddy was accused of organizing freak-offs in his home. This disturbing event allegedly involved the coercion of female victims to participate in sex shows. They were also able to force to participate in prolonged sexual acts with male commercial sex workers. Sadly, these events were not just organized by Diddy alone. They were also facilitated by high-ranking supervisors, domestic staff, security personnel, and even Diddy's personal assistants, many of whom have been implicated in his recent arrest. According to reports, Diddy's freak-offs could last for several days, occurring regularly and involving multiple sex workers. It's also said that during the traumatizing event, Diddy would maintain control over his victims through the use of physical violence and the withholding of financial support. He also went as far as monitoring their medical records and supplying them with controlled substances. Prior to Diddy's recent arrest, some shocking discoveries made during the raid have further affirmed the claim that Diddy was indeed involved in these terrifying freak-offs. For instance, authorities were able to seize 1,000 bottles of baby oil alongside firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s that had erased serial numbers. They also found a drum magazine. All of these findings paint a dark picture of who Diddy is, particularly judging by previous allegations that have been leveled against him. Interestingly, celebrities and artists were not the only kind of people that Diddy blackmailed. In fact, according to Diddy's bodyguard, the music rapper also blackmailed princes and even preachers. Gene Deal, who is Diddy's former bodyguard, disclosed these shocking secrets in a recent interview where he mentioned that it's not just celebrities who will be shocked the recordings are released, but also preachers and well-known princes. According to Deal, Diddy had every room in his home bugged and so was able to get these recordings easily. He also added that Diddy used a pill mixing method, which involved placing ecstasy and other date rape drinks in victims' juices to spike them. While it may be surprising how Diddy was able to get all these people present at his parties, it's important to understand how much influence he actually has in the music industry, as well as how the famous rapper appears to have law enforcement at his beck and call. These are some of the important factors to consider, and they're what we're about to discuss. Diddy, celebrities, and the music industry. Social media has recently gone wild after pictures of LeBron James in a maid outfit at Diddy's party surfaced online. James, who is one of America's finest basketballers, was seen in a seductive white and black maid outfit as he allegedly took a selfie. This image, which has sparked a lot of reactions online, was initially posted by an ex-user who made the tweet with the caption, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." Now, while this image seemed to have made it across social media within a short period of time, many have questioned the originality of the picture, with many claiming that the picture was AI generated. Also, despite the numerous comments on the post, LeBron himself has yet to publicly address the subject, and many doubt that he ever would. This single fact has a lot of people wondering if there is indeed more to the picture, or if it's just one of posts that are crafted solely for the purpose of engagement. But here's the thing. While LeBron James's supposed image may not be real, there are latest reports that suggest something of that nature may indeed be happening. Let me explain. According to these reports, Sean Combs, also called Diddy, allegedly held Hampton sex parties, where gay rappers and celebrities committed committed several shocking acts. These claims were initially made by a former drug dealer who described these gatherings as a freak show, citing how these household name rappers and celebrities engaged in sexual acts with each other. The dealer, who chose to remain anonymous, narrated how he witnessed the intimate and chaotic incident when Diddy had escorted him through his mansion to complete a cocaine deal. While he didn't mention the names of celebrities that he had seen, the dealer noted that upon witnessing the scene, he immediately lost respect for every one of those celebrities. But that was not all. In addition to his previous claims, the anonymous drug dealer also revealed that it wasn't just male celebrities and rappers who were at this party. He mentioned that even female rappers and sex workers were also in attendance, many of whom appeared to have been under the influence of some drugs. Surprisingly, these weren't the only shocking things that Diddy did at his parties. According to some new theories and claims, Diddy allegedly held full moon rituals at his parties. Now, I know these may sound quite bizarre and extreme. Many people have been connecting the dots, especially after this old video resurfaced online. According to the man in the video, Diddy held a special ritual on the last day of the full moon, together with the people who believe in his cult. He also added that this group allegedly paid homage to certain idols, after which they partied and engaged in several sexual activities with each other. Interestingly, this wasn't the only video about the topic. In this recent TikTok video, this lady talked about how Diddy's home was raided on March 25th, 2024, the day of a lunar eclipse, as well as how his recent arrest also happened on a lunar eclipse 6 months later.
Me that P. Diddy was arrested one day before the Pisces lunar eclipse, and on March 25th, his house was raided by the FBI on the lunar eclipse in Libra?
It's safe to say that these claims may just be speculations, especially as there is no substantial evidence to back up the claim. And even if there is, maybe we'll never find out, particularly because of the kind of influence that Diddy has in his industry. A strong influence that has allowed him to cover up many of his crimes. While it may not be very evident, Diddy reportedly has a significant influence in the music industry. Being a rapper himself, Diddy obviously knows the in and out of the business and has allegedly used it to his advantage. The famous rapper has been a strong force in the music industry for decades. Starting as a young intern at Uptown Records, Bissu quickly rose through the ranks to create his own label, Bad Boy Records, in 1993. From there, Diddy played a pivotal role in the careers of artists like Faith Evans and the Notorious Big. This reputation helped Diddy become a strong force as he came to understand the power of branding and image. He also ventured into other businesses such as clothing and fragrance, plus owning different alcohol brands. All these businesses made Diddy a ton of fortune, with Forbes estimating his net worth to be $400 million as of June this year. But that's not all that there is to it. Aside from being a renowned rapper and music mogul, Diddy also had some dirt on his colleagues, as well as other top names in the industry. And it is with this that he has maintained an undisputed authority. According to authorities, Diddy and his associates used their power and prestige to orchestrate sexual, emotional, and physical abuse against the people around him. Fatima Goss-Graves, who is the president of the National Women's Law Center, said in a statement that Diddy's actions are part of a general pattern that has existed for some time. A pattern where someone in a position of power chooses to exploit others for their personal gain, majorly using manipulation, fear, and even violence to maintain control. Now you may ask, where is the law enforcement in all of this? Well, while several authorities have actively condemned Diddy's crimes, there are claims that the business mogul still has a strong hold on law enforcement. There have been rumors and allegations about Diddy and his connection to the police, as many suggest that the rapper's immense wealth, connection, and power have afforded him a certain level of protection. Throughout the years, Diddy has faced legal charges, including high-profile cases involving weapons and altercation, but somehow he has managed to walk away from these charges unharmed. These instances have sparked a lot of speculation, with some alleging that Diddy used his resources to sway the outcomes of these charges in his favor. They all claim that the rapper's wealth and status have given him an upper hand in dealing with the law. But it gets interesting because aside from the claim that Diddy has the police in his pocket, there have also been reports that he was able to have law enforcement under control using his chief of security, Fahim Muhammad. These claims have gone viral after they initially surfaced in Lil Rod's document. In the document, Rod mentioned that Diddy always instructs his staff to contact Muhammad if they ever get pulled over by the police in Miami or California. He also added that during the studio shooting that happened in 2022, Muhammad has used his influence to get Diddy off the course. In his narration, Lil Rod mentioned that while the LAPD had seen the bloodstains from the gunshot wound, they still went with the claim that the shooting actually occurred outside the studio, a narrative that was propagated by several news and social media outlets. It said that Muhammad had the ability to make Diddy's legal problems go away, and this was due to his connections with law enforcement. Now, there are a few things to consider here, one of which is that Muhammad's position as Diddy's chief of security meant that he was responsible for overseeing the safety and protection of one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry. It also meant that Muhammad was a trusted member of Diddy's inner circle and was probably aware of some personal and professional aspects of Diddy's life that most people never see. As someone who was responsible for Diddy's security, Muhammad's close connection with the rapper probably made a confidant in many situations, adding to the trust and reliance that Diddy placed on him. Based on these possibilities, there have been rumors that beyond Muhammad's role as Diddy's head of security, he may have also been involved in a few of Diddy's shady activities. Many of these claims are based on Muhammad's previous job role before he started working with Diddy. Although not many people know this, before working as Diddy's security head, Fareem Muhammad had previously worked as head of security to American pop star Michael Jackson. During the period, Muhammad was not only responsible for Jackson's safety, but was also handling the complexities that came with the media spotlight, fan interaction, and various legal issues that the pop star faced. Recently, Muhammad's connection with both Michael Jackson and Diddy has come under the spotlight, particularly due to the recent allegations against Diddy. Although there is no known evidence that suggests anything suspicious in this connection, there have been several comments on the topic. For instance, in this Reddit post, the user had carefully stated the surprising connection of Muhammad to Michael Jackson before the singer's passing. Also, in this X post, the user cited the comment of New York attorney Robert K. Erlinger, where he revealed that not only were the police on Diddy's side, but they were also doing his dirty work. Although there has been no recent connection between Diddy and Michael Jackson, there are still many unanswered questions. But in the meantime, let's talk about the possible consequences for Diddy if he's eventually convicted. The possible aftermath. In a new indictment that has just been made public, Diddy has been charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. The 14-page indictment, which was recently unsealed, accused Diddy of running a decade-long criminal enterprise that involves coercing women into sex work, some of which took place at his terrifying freak-off party. The charges against Diddy also include kidnapping, witness tampering, and bribery, with allegations that the rapper and his associates used violence and intimidation to silence victims and cover up these activities. Prosecutors claim that Diddy drugged his victims during those parties and sometimes kept the tape without the victim being aware that he was doing so. They also claim that the physical torture was so severe that victims required IV fluid afterward. Following the recent incident of Diddy's arrest, ex-rapper Shine, alongside one of Diddy's victims from the 1999 club shooting, has come out to shed light on the incident that occurred that day. It's worth noting that before becoming a politician, Jamal Barrow, popularly called Shine, was a bad boy records rapper, but had his reputation ruined after he was served a 10-year jail sentence. According to Barrow, before his arrest in 1999, he was just an 18-year-old kid who wanted to be recognized for his talent, take over the world, and make his mother and hometown proud. But this dream was shattered after he was sentenced. The 1999 club shooting is one of those incidents that have been linked to Diddy. The shooting happened at Club New York in Manhattan, where a gunfight broke out, injuring 3 people. According to Barrow, Diddy, who was called Puff Daddy at the time, fired a shot into the ceiling of the Midtown Dance Club, where he was with his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. After the incident, Diddy was charged with weapon violations, and Shine surprisingly got a prison time for allegedly shooting 2 bystanders. Although Diddy was eventually acquitted of all charges in 2001, Brown had to stay in jail till 2009 and was finally deported back to Belize. In his statement, Brown revealed that while he was trying to defend Diddy after the incident, the rapper had turned around to call witnesses to testify against him. He added that although he does not take any joy or satisfaction in Diddy's recent condition, he feels the need to tell the world the truth about how Diddy destroyed his life. As Diddy awaits trial, a criminal defense attorney, Paul Callan, has revealed that the rapper could face a sentence of 20 years if convicted. The former New York prosecutor made this known exclusively to the U.S. Magazine, citing the possibility of many count charges. Similarly, the U.S. Department of Justice has also released a press statement that broke down each of Diddy's charges, as well as the possible number of years that he might spend in jail if found guilty. According to the statement, which was released shortly after Diddy's indictment, 1 count of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking each carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, while the charge of transportation for the purpose of prostitution carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. What this means is that, if convicted, Diddy could end up spending a minimum of 15 years in prison, and even worse, he could serve a life sentence. Now, while there's a possibility that Diddy could somehow find a way out of this, former prosecutor Robert Sparks has said that with the manner in which authorities have built their case against Diddy, it will be almost impossible for the rapper to escape jail time. Sparks also added that even if he tried to escape, there is too much evidence and witnesses against him. Likewise, the indictment is rather too specific for anyone to maneuver his way out, so maybe Diddy could really be going to jail. Interestingly, after Diddy's recent arrest, a number of celebrities, including LeBron James, Steph Curry, Young Miami, Kevin Hart, and many others have unfollowed Diddy on Instagram. Although the rapper still has a massive following on Instagram, there have been a significant number of people who have chosen to detach themselves from him. Similarly, Patrick Mahomes and Steph Curry have also publicly distanced themselves from Diddy and every one of his associates, including Kim Kardashian and Young Miami. Although there are no publicly known relationships between Diddy and many of these celebrities, several people have been trying to link them together using previous conversations between Diddy and each of these celebrities. For instance, while Steph Curry's relationship with Diddy has not been so close, at least on the outside, many have referenced their old conversation on X when Diddy expressed his interest about buying the Carolina Panthers. Curry replied by saying that he was in on Diddy's decision. While this may not be so much of an evidence or proof to tie Diddy and Curry together, it does add to the already suspicious incident where he and other celebrities unfollowed Diddy. These recent actions have raised a lot of eyebrows, with many asking this one question: is there some sort of connection? Well, maybe there is, because in some latest news that has just hit the internet, it's been revealed that several artists and celebrities might be implicated in Diddy's new case. One of the obvious celebrities who will be implicated is Lil Rod. Although the music artist contributed significantly to Diddy's arrest, it's clear that there's still a lot of evidence against him. One other person who could be implicated in this case is Christina Courtroom, who is Diddy's chief of staff. In the court evidence submitted by Lil Rod, it stated that Christina allegedly procured sex workers for Diddy. Lil Rod also claimed that Christina would instruct her staff to lace champagne, tequila, and liquor bottles with ecstasy and other illicit drugs. He added that she would require all her staff to walk around Diddy's parties with pouches filled with cocaine, ecstasy, and other drugs. In addition to Lil Rod and Christina Courtroom, some other people who might be implicated are Lucian Grange, Stevie J, Young Miami, and Justin Dior Combs, Diddy's adult son, who Lil Rod claimed solicited sex workers for the crew around Diddy and also participated in the freak-off events. As more of Diddy's crimes continue to surface, many have linked his case to that of American sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. One of the security agents who raided Diddy's house had specifically compared his case to that of Jeffrey Epstein, stating that in his opinion, Diddy is as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. It's safe to say that Diddy's recent indictment bears some similarities to the case of Jeffrey Epstein, particularly in the allegations of sex trafficking and exploitation of vulnerable women. Both men are accused of using their wealth, influence, and connection to orchestrate sexual activities that involve multiple victims. These cases also involve claims of coercion and intimidation, with significant efforts made to silence accusers through threats or bribery. Perhaps the only significant difference here is that Diddy's case includes additional charges such as racketeering and weapon violation. Aside from these two charges, it's safe to say that Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein may be just the same kind of person, brutal and inconsiderate. Surprisingly, while many people, including celebrities, have condemned Diddy's alleged crimes, there are those who believe that these allegations are false. For instance, Ray J, American singer and songwriter, has addressed these allegations, stating that he has never witnessed any criminal behavior during any of Diddy's parties. The singer dismissed the claim, adding that he's had a long-term relationship with the rapper, and in these years, he has never seen him engage in any illegal activity. Ray J also mentioned his admiration for Diddy, especially during his earlier career, adding that he is disappointed at the rapper's current situation and further urging aspiring entertainers to take lessons from Diddy's legal trouble. Just like Ray J, American former singer R. Kelly has also publicly shared his doubts about Diddy's recent arrest and the allegations against him. In a recent conversation with Whack 100, R. Kelly revealed that he does not believe any of these accusations. He further claimed that the federal agents are probably upset because Diddy was flagrant. In his statement, R. Kelly urged Diddy and the general public to take the investigation seriously, adding that celebrities are now being hunted regardless of whether the allegations are true or false. Although R. Kelly may appear to be an honest supporter of Diddy, a federal prosecutor, Nadia Shihada has cited similarities between Diddy's case and that of R. Kelly in 2022. The prosecutor who participated in R. Kelly's trial for sex crimes noted that the allegations against Diddy stand in close similarity to that of the R&B star. Are there any connections here? I guess we'll find out as the story unfolds. For now, do share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then be sure to click on this next card on your screen. The FBI has finally revealed some truly dark details about Diddy and the terrifying things he has been up to in his empire of sexual crimes. The once celebrated music mogul now faces serious allegations that have defined his life and his future.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
The truth about Diddy is unraveling in a way many never saw coming. So buckle up as we dive into the details of the terrifying truth behind Diddy, uncovering Diddy's dark past. Fresh updates are coming to light as over 3,285 victims contacted the authorities to narrate their ordeals at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs. Texas-based attorney Tony Busby confirmed that of the 3,285 victims, about 120 people are ready to move forward with lawsuits against the music executive, with many of them having access to evidence such as photos, texts, and videos. The allegations include facilitating sex with controlled substances, sexual abuse of minors, violent sexual assault, and rape. These fresh allegations aren't new to the Diddy case, as physical violence and assault have been the Sean Combs trademark.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
In March 2024, Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion was raided by federal agents because Diddy was accused of kidnapping, drugging, and coercing women into sexual acts, sometimes using guns to threaten them. The raid uncovered drugs, guns, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil allegedly used during Diddy's wild freak-off orgy. According to an indictment made public recently, Diddy's been abusing women for over a decade, running what prosecutors call an empire of sexual crimes. The indictment shows us a disturbing truth of Diddy's actions dating back to 2008, accusing him of abusing, threatening, and manipulating women for years to satisfy his sexual urges and covering up his behavior. The charges describe how he allegedly lured women and male sex workers into drug-fueled, days-long sexual events he called freak-offs, as seen in this photo that has been circulating the media waves. One of these alleged incidents involved an attack on his former girlfriend, singer Cassie, caught on video. A major event that shed light on these freak-offs happened at Tokyo's Seventh Heaven strip club in the early 2000s. At the peak of his fame, Diddy reportedly asked topless dancer Rachel Kennedy to join him at his hotel for an after-party. Now 51 and living in Arizona, Kennedy shared her story exclusively with the Post, recalling, "We hit it off, we're talking, and he invites me and my friends back to his hotel for a party. I took the girls with me, and we went to Diddy's hotel." However, when Kennedy and her two friends arrived, there was no party, just Diddy, wearing a robe and holding a bottle of champagne, ready for something else entirely. She said, "We all knew at that point it was going to turn out to be just a party of one." Kennedy told the Post she and her friends were doing cocaine the night they were lured to Diddy's hotel under the guise of a party, though Diddy didn't partake. Little did she know she was about to be introduced to Diddy's infamous freak-offs, wild sexual events that have now landed him in hot water. She claimed that they were partying, doing coke, and that she never saw Diddy touch it. Apparently, Diddy said he only smoked weed back then. She said he even bragged about sneaking marijuana through airports without fear, mentioning she saw weed in his hotel room. Back in the day, Diddy was on top of the world, with massive hits like I'll Be Missing You and Bad Boy for Life. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a powerhouse in the music industry. He had built a brand that stretched from hip-hop to fashion and business, making himself an untouchable figure. The self-proclaimed Bad Boy for Life seemed unstoppable, but in 2024, it was a different beat entirely for him. After Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided live on CNN on March 25th, Diddy's life became part of an ongoing investigation that quickly became a public nightmare for the once untouchable mogul, and it only got worse from there. On September 16th, an indictment against Diddy was made public, charging him with 3 serious counts, including sex trafficking by force. He pleaded not guilty but was denied bail, leaving him behind bars as he waits for trial. The stakes this high, his legal team is expected to keep pushing back and exploring every possible avenue to defend him. But for now, Combs remains locked up, facing an uncertain future and possible career damage. Enjoyed the video?